What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and we are stacked today on this fine Tuesday evening. We've got three awesome segments to talk about on today's show. We're going to start it off with the latest. Could the Baltimore Ravens be trading for Jalen Ramsey? It was announced earlier today that him and the Miami Dolphins have agreed to part ways and look at some trade options. We'll break down that possibility, what a trade might look like, and how I think he might fit in this cornerback room for the Baltimore Ravens. And then coming up after that, we have a new ESPN Plus mock draft reaction. Field Yates, Mel Kiper Jr., combined brains for this one. They went 3 rounds. I'll react to every single Ravens pick that they make. And then to wrap it all out, as we do every single time, we've got our live Ravens mailbag where you can ask me questions, get a chance to get yourself on the screen, on the show, and I'll answer as many Ravens questions as I possibly can. Before you ask me questions, I got to ask you some, okay? We're going to start this one off. It was the poll question on today's episode, which right now is sitting at 62% yes, 38% no, and it goes like this: should Baltimore trade for Jalen Ramsey? If you think they should, go ahead, give me a Y in the comment section down below, and if you think they shouldn't, give me an N and tell me why. I would not mind it at all. Okay, I think if you're going to trade for Jair Alexander or you're going to trade for Jalen Ramsey, I would probably rather them trade for Jalen Ramsey. It does feel like a little bit of a similar situation. However, that big of a contract and him being an aging cornerback does have its red flags. It's one of those situations that if they didn't do it, I wouldn't bat an eye. And if they did do it, I'd probably be able to convince myself, like, hey, this is going to be awesome, this is going to work, and I'm super excited about it. We got PRX saying, hey, Jimmy Z or Jimsy J is saying no. Jack Ray is saying yes. Jack thinks they should trade for Jalen Ramsey. Papa says, let's see after the draft. And that's the thing about this, is this is all most likely going to take account or going to happen after the NFL draft because of the way his contract is situated with Miami and because of the money that they can save. So this won't happen over the next probably week or so, I don't think. I think when it does happen, it will happen post 6-1, but it could happen. We'll see. Also, I got to give a shout out to our boy Zay Prods. It doesn't look like he's in here right now, but last week we put out a video on Sunday and we said whoever comments the most will get a shout out in Tuesday's live show. And so here we go. Shout out Zay Prods. When you get in here, if I see you again later today, I'll make sure you know about the shout out. I need you guys to call them out for me in the comment section down below. Speaking of Papa Shook's question, which says, let's see after the draft. Let's talk draft for a quick second. I want you to name a sleeper in the 2025 NFL Draft. I've got 3 names to think about, to look at. Actually, let me talk. I'm gonna do 4 names. Number 1, a round 2 sleeper, Omar Norman Lott. Interior defensive lineman out of Tennessee. He's been getting a ton of buzz lately, but I've been super high on him for the entirety of this pre-draft process. I think what he does getting to the passer from the interior of the defensive line is really, really impressive. Another guy I'm really impressed on, let's just keep talking about Tennessee people. It's the last one, I promise. Dante Thornton Jr., wide receiver. He's just one of those classic cases. A big man, runs fast. He's 6'5", but also runs like a 4.4 40. I think if he can get it all together, get the hands working with every single other part of him, he could be something special. 2 other guys, Antoine Powell-Ryland and David Walker, 2 edge rushers, one from Virginia Tech. Had a ton of production there. And then David Walker, if you don't know who he is, it's because he was at Central Arkansas, okay? And so he really wasn't that big of a name. I think Antoine, you can get in the 4th round. David Walker, you get late 2nd or sometime in the 3rd. If you guys want to ask me a question like I'm doing you guys, just make sure to get hashtag Ravens in the comment section down below. Looks like Adam78 agrees with me. If you guys have any questions on draft, trades, Ravens King already had an awesome question. We will make sure we answer that one, Ravens King. Anything you got for me, okay? Draft, trades, free agency, next year's predictions, anything you want, contract situations, anything, make sure you ask me in the comment section by using hashtag Ravens. If you don't use hashtag Ravens, we can't see it. If you use hashtag space Ravens, we can't see it. If you use hashtag Ravness, which is easier to do than probably you think, we won't be able to see it either. Alrighty, so make sure you get hashtag Ravens down there in the comment section. Ask me your questions. We'll be answering them once we get to that third segment. You guys make the call. Should the Ravens draft Malachi Starks? That's a name we've talked about a ton. It is a name that we've looked at in past mock drafts that ESPN Plus has done. They've targeted him to the Baltimore Ravens. Would you or should the Ravens draft Malachi Starks? Give me a yes. Give me a no in the comment section down below. I tell you this, Malachi would not be my top pick. I would rather realistically James Pierce Jr. Realistically, I would maybe rather Donovan Izaraku. I'd rather Jahdae Barron, Tedero McMillan if he falls. But Malachi Starks, if that's the selection, I'd be really, really happy with it. I think this kid is going to be an absolute star when he gets to the National Football League. Make sure that you guys go ahead and hit that thumbs up button as well. Make sure to like. Papa Shook with a good question about Kyle Hamilton. I'll answer that one come our mailbag section. Ravens King is saying yes, and Jack Lotteray is saying no. Shout out to Jack, always in the comment section. Make sure you guys like the video if you guys are excited for that NFL draft. We are just, as of right now, 9 days away. So make sure to like the video if you are as excited as I am. It's going to be a blast. We will have wall-to-wall coverage at Chat Sports. We might even be able to go live on the channel for the first night of the draft. We're still getting that all figured out. But if you guys want me to, make sure to like it. So that way we can show you're excited. That way we can show the bosses you guys want me to be here for the NFL Draft live on the Ravens Rundown with you all. If you're pumped about it, next Thursday through Saturday, gonna be a blast. Make sure to show me, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button.
It's Joey's first draft.
It is my first draft.
It's Joey's first draft. Oh my gosh, he's got that young excitement.
I do.
And all of that fresh new, yes, this is going to be so much fun. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
it could possibly, it won't be exhausting.
Yeah, there's going to be so much energy. Everyone's going to be so excited for the entire time. You've got that new draft energy, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very disappointed in this chat. I'm not going to lie. I am
as well, John.
I'm not going to lie. We're a little more than a week out from the draft, and we can't get 10 likes with 26 people watching. That's kind of blasphemy.
Yeah, I could not agree more.
I mean, that's like actually crazy.
Could not agree more. We need those likes to go up.
The draft is a week away.
Yeah. No, you're
not
wrong.
And we're pulling these stunts.
Yeah.
I guess they don't want us to go live.
And I guess they're not excited about the draft. They don't think it's going to be that fun, and they don't want the Ravens Rundown to be live for it. That's all I'm hearing.
That's crazy. 30 people, we can't get 10 likes.
And then we go 7.
We should get to 15, but that just seems at this point seems like a really tall task.
Seems a little rich at this point.
At this point, nobody's in the chat. You know, this low energy today.
Low energy.
This is a low energy stream.
Guys,
this is a low energy chat.
I could not agree more. Jack,
we got the Raiders report live right now, and they're ripping beer bongs and doing all the things that they do. They're high energy. Is this the last live before the draft?
Yes, it is.
This is the last live. What are we doing?
Actually, wait, no, we'll go live next Tuesday.
Are we?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know the schedule yet.
I mean, everyone's schedules are up in the air.
This is probably the last.
This is probably the last live before the draft.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good point, Jack. This is the last time you'll see me before we have 11 possible new players on the Baltimore Ravens. So like it up. We got Christina here. We got Sasquatch 16, Ravens King, Ravens Pro, Jimsy J. And this is my first draft, so I'm very excited about it. Fun fact for you guys, it is Jack Lutteray's 5th, but even a funner fact, more fun fact, I actually visited Chat Sports at the NFL Draft last year.
This is a very fun fact.
And I still had a job, but I had accepted this offer. I had yet to turn in my 2 weeks to the other company, and I came on live on the Raiders and the Bears and I think another one, and the whole time I was just thinking of like, oh God, my current employer is going to see me and then fire me.
What?
Which I guess it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, because you were going to leave anyway. I will add to that fun fact. Who were you sitting next to a majority of the time while you were there?
90% of my time, I was sat right next to Mr. Jack Lauderay as he was on the ones and twos in Studio A for the Chat Sports main broadcast.
I'll be back there again next week.
Amen. You and Sam Brown holding down the fort. It was me, Reed, Jack, and Sam in a little row.
That little row.
We did. We had a lockdown. Marcus Green, what's up, Marcus? Says, depends on how much he's going to cost. Well, let me tell you, it's going to be a good bet. Hey, we actually got the 15 likes, Jack. Your shaming worked, so I appreciate you.
It's not even shaming. I'm just being realistic.
Yeah.
This is probably the last live before the draft, and the draft is one of the most hype events of the year.
It is.
So I don't know where I came in here low energy. I'll cop to that. I'm tired today, but you know what? I'm hyped up now. Come on.
He's locked and loaded. He's got his poppy giving him energy. And then he's got his poppy up here giving him energy. We're locked and loaded. We're going to go ahead and get on into our first segment right here on the Ravens Rundown, which is a little bit of a breakdown of a possible Jalen Ramsey trade. I'll tell you everything that you need to know about possibly trading for the star cornerback. After that, we got our new ESPN mock draft reaction. We're going to wrap this all up with a live Ravens mailbag. Do not go anywhere. About to get into the cut. When I get out of it, I need 20 likes. I need every single one of you guys to help me out. Jack, we ready to roll? All righty, let's do it. First cut coming at you right now. We're going to start off this episode by you guys making the call for me, okay? Before I talk, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Should Baltimore trade for Jalen Ramsey? We're going to break down the trade possibility, everything you need to know in just a couple of minutes, but I want to know what you guys have to think. First off, it's going to be a Y for yes or an N for no down below. Ian Rappaport dropped this bomb earlier today, 7 a.m. Man, that guy never sleeps. Saying the Dolphins and 7-time Pro Bowl cornerback Jalen Ramsey are mutually set to explore trade options, and it wouldn't be a surprise if he played elsewhere in 2025. And if you're following Slick Rick Scoops, you actually knew about the possibility of this 4 days ago. He tweeted out, big trade for the Dolphins. Dolphins are trading away an all-pro player. But you're watching the Ravens rundown, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to break it all down right here on today's show. And I want to start off by saying, before everybody gets frustrated with me about talking about a Jalen Ramsey trade, is that I don't think the trade cost would be too incredibly high. I get it. Jalen Ramsey is a really well-known player. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. But you got to look at the last time he was traded to give yourself just a little bit of perspective. Hunter Long, tight end, and a 2023 third-round pick. And that was 2 years ago. Okay, that's 2 years of age, an injury later in the 2024 NFL season, and a whole lot of snaps played after that, which is going to lessen his value, nonetheless, his contract as well. We're going to talk about that all in just a second, but make sure that you guys subscribe, okay? Can I get 49 diehard Baltimore Ravens fans to hit that big red sub button to help me get to 30,000 subscribers? If you truly love the Ravens, you found the best place for Ravens content. We give it to you every single day right here on the channel. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Trade rumors, draft coverage, anything you want, you got right here. I just need 49 loyal Ravens fans to help me out and subscribe to the channel. So the thing about Ramsey is he's getting a little bit older. He turns 31 this next year, and he's also really expensive. And we know one thing about Father Time. He's undefeated, right? Well, the other thing we know about Father Time is that he's especially cruel to cornerbacks because the older they get, the slower they are. Their short area quickness goes a little bit, and that pretty much takes away the entirety of their ability to play well at that position. And he also costs a good chunk of change as well. His current 2025 cap hit is $16.7 million. However, that would go down for the new team cap to be $9.82 million. That new team cash, what you would owe him in 2025 is $21.10 million. And then, of course, you'd still have him on contract in 2026, and that cap hit would be $18.2 million and dead money of $15.18 million. That's a lot of numbers. Let's have Spotrac help us out a little bit in understanding. They went on and said the dead cap structure on the deal makes a trade before June 1st complicated, as the Dolphins would stand to take on $29.2 million and a $12.5 million cap loss. If the trade is processed after June 1st, that $29.2 would be split as a $10.7 million in 2025, $18.5 million in 2026, representing a $5.9 million cap saving for the upcoming season. So it's safe to assume that he will be traded post 6-1, okay? Because they could save $6 million extra dollars in cap space. And when you're talking about the Miami Dolphins, they need every dollar that they can get. And it's really unusual, honestly, when you look at it this close to the draft, to talk about such a big player being traded after the NFL draft. But with Jalen Ramsey, it just makes more sense for Miami. This is the player that you're getting, a guy who over the past 4 years has been really solid, right? He had back-to-back seasons in 2021 and 2022 with 34 combined pass breakups and 8 interceptions. But since going to Miami, he suffered that injury in 2023, and honestly, in the 10 games he played in, he wasn't that great. And then in 2024, kind of took an even bigger step back, in my opinion. 70.8% completion percentage allowed, 546 pass yards allowed, only 2 touchdowns given up, 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and this is the big one. He had a lot of quarterback rating of 93.5, which I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen, that's not very good. I still think, though, that Jalen Ramsey has a lot still left to offer. And I do think that when you look at this current cornerback room that the Baltimore Ravens have, they still have a lot left to add. And so it could be the perfect marriage. And up next, I'm going to give you a little inside scoop from our Dolphins analyst right here at Chat Sports on what a trade could look like. So stick around. Make sure you don't want to miss it. Another thing I know you guys don't want to miss is our friends over at Game Time, because they've got the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of the Ravens Rundown. And what I love about Game Time is they provide the easiest way to get tickets on short notice. You could save up to 60% off by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and etc. I know Baltimore doesn't have a basketball team, but the playoffs are almost here, and it doesn't matter who you cheer for. Being in the building and that electric playoff environment gives you memories you'll never forget for the rest of your life. Easy to find and buy basketball tickets and tickets for every kind of event in your area. Game Time also has an awesome feature. It's called Zone Deals. Game Time Zone Deals allow customers to purchase tickets for general area of a venue rather than specific seats, offering potential discounts and flexibility for last-minute ticket buyers. And I don't care who you're a fan of, whether it's the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks. We all know that the upcoming basketball playoffs are going to be a ton of fun. If you want to be in the building, okay, whether you go to New York, whether you go to Boston, whether you go anywhere, Game Time is the place to do it. You get the views from your seats. Easy to find, easy to buy, everything easy with our friends over at Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. The link to this promo is in the comments and in the description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. So I sat Nick Roloff down today and I said, Nick, or Rolly as we call him here, I said, hit me with it. What do you think Jalen Ramsey would cost? Expecting a little bit higher of an answer. And he said, I believe at best you could get a third, but likely it'll be a 4th or a 5th round pick. A 4th or a 5th round pick for a 7-time Pro Bowl center. I don't know about you guys, but that was a little bit surprising to me. And then I took a look at our depth chart. I took a look at who was in the building right now for cornerbacks. And I saw 2 guys I really liked, and Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey. And then I saw 2 guys in Jahdae Awuzie and TJ Tampa that I would like to have as depth pieces and not necessarily as starters. I think those 2 guys could be amazing from the bench, but I still believe there's a massive hole in starting cornerback for this team. And so the Ramsey trade idea that I have proposed is Jalen Ramsey for a 2026, because remember, this will and would take place after the NFL draft, most likely, 2026 5th round pick. I could even be persuaded or talked about a 2026 4th round pick. However, when it comes to the trade, And when it comes to what Baltimore's going to do, it's all going to come down to the money. And we saw it earlier, but that cash owed in 2025 would be around $21 million. Now, for a guy like Jalen Ramsey, sounds like that might be something that's worth it. But you got to think about the future with this team, okay? And they got 4 players that I believe will have extensions any day. John Harbaugh, Eric DeCosta actually spoke to the media today and talked about every single one of these guys. Tyler Linderbaum, Kyle Hamilton, Lamar Jackson, and Derrick Henry. All 4 of them I would like to see extended before the start of the 2025 NFL season. Derrick's going to be about a 2-year. Lamar's could be up to 5 or 6. I wouldn't be surprised. And Kyle and Tyler will be anywhere from $3 to $4 million. Kyle, I think, is going to reset the safety market. Tyler Linderbaum's probably going to be the second highest paid center at the end of the day. I think Lamar Jackson's going to be the highest paid quarterback. And Derrick Henry's probably going to get a nice little $4 million tacked on to whatever his $8 million salary is currently. So my take on this entire situation is, as much as I love Ramsey, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I really do love Ramsey. Coming out of Florida State, the way he talked trash when he was a Jacksonville Jaguar, me as an 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, I absolutely loved it. However, I don't think Baltimore should take on the contract, $21 million contract, of an aging cornerback when they have young guys that they want to keep around for much longer than they'd be able to keep around Jalen Ramsey. They've got those guys that they have to pay. It just doesn't necessarily make business sense to me. If there's anything we know about the Baltimore Ravens, they typically don't make decisions that don't make business sense. So take a guess. Let me know in the comment section. What % chance is it that Ramsey gets traded to Baltimore? Scale it 1 to 100. I'm probably going to put it somewhere around like 8%, 9%. I'm not too high on it, though. You let me know your answer down below. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of feels a little similar to me as Jaire Alexander, who we got a new update on today, and I'll probably talk about later in this week. But when Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, was asked about him remaining a Packer, he said it could be a possibility, absolutely. And the most recent reports today came out that he most likely is going to get traded away, or at least cut. Now, that's a whole different story, but both those guys, Jalen Ramsey and Jaire Alexander, are aging cornerbacks that have had injury issues in the past couple of years that have massive contracts. And if Baltimore hasn't moved on Jaire, I don't necessarily see them moving on Jalen. So then what you got to do is look to the draft. And you got 5 targets that I would like to see, any of them in the first 2 rounds, okay? Round 1, Jahdae Barron. He's the only guy that has the possibility of falling to you at 27, and even if he does, I'd be shocked. But Jahdae Barron's a round 1 talent. Trey Amos, some people are saying, I'm not necessarily sold that he's a round 1 talent. Maybe at 27, it makes a little bit more sense. But Shavon, Revel Jr., Maxwell Harrison, Benjamin Morrison, of course, Trey Amos as well. All of those guys, if they fall to you in the second round, I think could give you legit starting caliber play this next year. Make sure you guys subscribe before you get on out of here. Again, we're trying to get to 30K. We've been scratching and clawing for the past little week, and I think today's the day that's going to do it. Again, I need 50 of you guys to help me out, so if you haven't yet, go down there, hit that sub button. All righty. Let me know down below. We got Navman in the chat. Navman, salute to you. I need you to give me your thoughts on the Nico Iamaleava situation. I know you're a big Vol. I know that you've probably got a lot of thoughts on the situation. I want to hear your opinions down below. Kimberly Harmon's not feeling too good about it. She says 8%. Adam 78 is feeling even worse at 1.5%. Papa Shook's sitting at about 19%, so 1 in every 5. He thinks there's a 1/5 chance. That's interesting, Papa. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but hey, man, you do you. You do you, my friend. Mike says, Joey, I have a deal for you. Mike, I will point out you did spell my last name wrong. Okay, I'm just going to point that out, but that's okay. All is forgiven. And then Mike also went on to say 32% and ask a question for the upcoming mailbag. And Kimberly said, hashtag Ravens scale 1 to 10. How excited are you about the NFL draft this next Thursday? I'm at like a 10. Kimberly, I'm absolutely pumped up. Alrighty, coming up next, make sure you guys still get in the comment section. Still like today's video. We're at 27 likes, so much better than we were about 15 minutes ago. Make sure you guys do your best Mike Nintendo Master impressions and ask me a question down in the chat by using hashtag Ravens. Or, of course, you can always super chat. That guarantees your question will get on the show. That's the only way to guarantee you get on the show is by sending in a super chat. It can be $1, $2, $3, $5, $100. I don't care as long as you guys get your questions in there. Would love to give those answers. But if you don't want to super chat, no worries. We understand. Just get in the comment section, use hashtag Ravens, and put it in the comments. Just like Mike Nintendo Master said, hashtag Ravens, should Baltimore sign wide receiver or draft one? It has to be all together, has to be spelled correctly, it has to be in the same line and sentence as the question. Mike says, Joey, do you want to hear the deal? Yes, I do want to hear the deal, my friend. Hit me with it. I'm curious what this deal is going to be about. Yeah, is this like a Ravens deal? As in like something you see for Baltimore? I'm very curious. Yeah, it might have to, or yeah, does it have to do with hashtag Ravens? I don't know, but we're still waiting to hear from him. Chris Barron. What's up, Chris? He says 10%. So far, we've only got one person over 10%, and that was, I believe it was Papa Shook at 19. I was at 8. Mike's at 32%. Damn, Mike's thinking it's got a third chance. Okay, Mike, I like the confidence. I don't necessarily agree, but regardless, I still like the confidence. Don't worry. We got Marcus asking, can we afford his salary? Sasquatch says, no, I don't think so. Maybe for a 6-rounder, and they eat a lot of his money. Yeah, I don't think they would take that because I think someone's going to offer more. That's just what I think. LaBrell Kane is in here. Says not. Chris says too old and too expensive. LaBrell, what's going on, my friend? Make sure to get a question in and get on the show. Can you see the Ravens double-dipping safety round 1, Starks round 2, Watt, Sasquatch? Great question. Ask it again. Use hashtag Ravens, and I will make sure to answer it. All right, Jack, are we ready for that round or round 2 video? Moggs, what's up? Says we up in this bish. Joey Petersen, a Raven Now deal. If I can get 40 likes the next minute, we do a mock draft before the draft or try to go live for the draft. Yes. If we can get 40 likes, I won't even say the next minute. I'm just going to say by the time I get out of this cut, 40 likes, Mike Nintendo Master. I will do a mock draft before the draft, and also will try my hardest to go live for the draft as well. But cannot guarantee it. I need 40 likes, and I will promise you that I will talk to my bosses right after this live show. Alrighty. Sasquatch, great question. Ask it again. Use hashtag Ravens. Moggs, what's up, my friend? Welcome to the show. So glad you are hanging out with us on this fine Tuesday evening. Up next, we got an awesome video for you guys. Mel Kiper Jr., Field Yates, combined their brains and did a 3-round mock draft. I will react to it right now. Jack, are we ready? Great. Took a little sip of water. I'm ready to roll whenever you are, and we will see you guys right now. On today's show, we've got an awesome one for you guys because Mel Kiper Jr. and Field Yates combined their brain power, did a 3-round mock draft, and we're going to spend the next 10 to 15 minutes telling you every selection they made for Baltimore, reacting to the picks, and breaking it all down right here on the Ravens Rundown. Let's run you by some of the latest ESPN Plus mocks, okay? Field Yates put out one about 2 weeks ago. He had James Pierce Jr. go to Baltimore at pick number 27. Mel Kiper Jr. did one last week. He had Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia, going to number 27 to Baltimore. And so who will be the selection this time around? I'm going to tell you in just a little bit, because for that, I got to let you guys know, you got to hit that subscribe button, okay? Because ESPN Plus, they give you this content, but they do it for $120 a year. That's $10 a month. We give it to you right here, $0 a month, $0 a year, $0 a century. So that's why you got to hit that subscribe button. Never miss a moment because we give you the best content right here on the Ravens Rundown. Already round one, pick number 27. The Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks, safety out of the University of Georgia. And I'm going to tell you, this seems like a legit possibility to me. Okay, and I'm not just saying that because it's been on a lot of mocks recently and because Mel Kiper went on the lounge earlier this week and talked about talked about Malachi possibly going to Baltimore, but because I just think he'd be a perfect fit with the Ravens. I mean, talk about a guy, in my opinion, who plays like a Raven. Here's what Phil Yates had to say about the selection. This is what the Ravens do in the draft. They patiently allow the board to come to them and then snag rock-solid prospects. Stark would check a box at free safety and represent good value at the same time. His instincts, versatility, and ball skills would work well alongside Kyle Hamilton. I could not agree more, Field Yates. And again, Mel Kiper went on with the lounge on Monday and said if Malachi Starks is there, forget pass rusher. That's intel that he knows about Baltimore that is A, they're very high on Malachi, and B, probably more high on Malachi than any other edge rusher that could fall to them at number 27. And it's not really a surprise why when you look at his 3 years he had at Georgia. Almost 200 combined tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 23 pass breakups, and 6 interceptions. He took a little bit of a step back in 2024, honestly, from his freshman year in 2022, but took a step up from 2023. And he was so incredibly important for that Georgia defense. And you got to look at the current state of this Ravens safety room. As of the time of this recording, Darius Washington is still a restricted free agent. And you know what? Who's to say that that doesn't change anytime soon? If you add Malachi Starks to this room, Darius Washington comes the best backup safety in the league. I love Darius, but I think Malachi Starks is a little bit more, jack of all tradesy than Darius is. Darius struggles a lot in coverage, and he's kind of the guy you want to go in there when it's first down, right? When it's an obvious run situation. But when it's third and long and you need a coverage safety in there, that's what Malachi Starks thrives at. And him and Kyle Hamilton with each other, that is game over. And Starks, to me, he kind of feels like the type of player that where after a few years, like 2027, maybe the end of the 2026 season, everybody's sitting there and saying, how was he able to fall that far to pick number 27? Kind of similar to how everybody said the same thing about T.J. Watt a couple of years after he was drafted by Pittsburgh, okay? I think Malachi Starks has that potential. You make the call for me down below. Should the Ravens draft Malachi Starks? If you think so, go ahead, give me a Y for yes. And if you think they shouldn't, go ahead, give me an N for no in the comment section down below. So coming up, we've got Baltimore's round 2 and round 3 selections. So make sure that you guys stick around for those. But before we get into that, something else you guys got to stick around for is our awesome sponsor over at Game Time. They're the official ticketing partner of the Ravens Rundown. And what I love about Game Time is that they provide the easiest way to get sports on short notice. Sports tickets, and save up to 60% by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. And I know Baltimore doesn't have a basketball team, but the playoffs are here, and it doesn't matter who you cheer for. Being in the building in that electric playoff atmosphere gives you memories you'll never forget for the rest of your life. There's easy to find and buy basketball tickets on Game Time and tickets for every kind of event in your area. Game Time has an awesome feature. It's called Zone Deals. And Game Time Zone Deals allow customers to purchase tickets for a general area of a venue rather than specific seats, offering potential discounts and flexibility for last-minute ticket buyers. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. It doesn't matter what team you like. It doesn't matter what sport you cheer for. Game Time has got you covered all over the map. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. They went safety in round 1. Let's go edge rusher in round 2 with JT Tuimoloau. We're just going to call him JTT from here on out. And I love the fact that you go safety and edge. And I love the fact that they're hitting big needs early, okay? You need somebody in that secondary. Bad, whether it's a corner or safety. You need somebody to refresh this edge rushing group. And JTT can do exactly that. He played 16 games in 2024 along Ohio State's run for a national championship. Sorry, Jack. And he had 61 tackles along the way, 12 and a half sacks, 51 pressures. Also got those paws up a good bit with 3 pass breakups and 2 forced fumbles. And I feel like JTT finally had the year, okay? Does anybody remember that Penn State game from 2 years ago? You might not. It might just be because I'm a college football sicko. But JTT absolutely took over the game, won the game for them. I believe he had 2 interceptions and like 3 sacks. It was unbelievable. That was his freshman year. And everybody from then on, going into sophomore year, expected a massive jump. They didn't get it. And then he comes in here and finally has it. Right? That year that everybody had been waiting for, that he proves he's exactly what they thought when they recruited him as a 5-star. And, I mean, it was a solid one for JTT. A pass rush grade of 77.8. He's so great in the run as well, an 87.3 run defense grade. And also a pass rush win rate of 12.1%, meaning he got off his blocks within the first 2.5 seconds, 12.1% of the time. JTT is one of those guys who I believe just fits well, not only with this team and the defensive scheme, but I think also with the culture. He's not without his warts. He could be a little bit bigger. He could be a little bit faster. He could be a little bit more of a short tackler, but I think he's a really good risk to take in the second round at pick number 59. I think he could be a star. Let's go to round 3, round this one out with yet another defensive player, this time linebacker Demetrius Knight Jr. out of South Carolina. Here's what Field Yates had to say about the prospect. Knight makes plays on the ball with 3 forced fumbles, 2 sacks, and a pick in his 1 season at South Carolina. He transferred from Charlotte after a few years at Georgia Tech. I like him next to Roquan Smith. And I don't hate him next to Roquan Smith at all. I really don't hate anybody next to Roquan Smith. But let's talk a little bit more about Knight. Start with the good, like always. He's just a really quality athlete. He has all those traits that you want to have in a linebacker. He's quick, he's big, right? And the great thing is his instincts have come along nicely. They've changed a lot since his first couple of years playing football at Georgia Tech and then at Charlotte. He also tested really well athletically. Like I was telling you, he's a quality athlete, 8.10 RAS score. However, he does come with his warts. He benefited from having a really solid defensive line in front of him at South Carolina with some really, really great NFL talent. 6 years in college with a late breakout. 2, that's kind of twofold. Number 1, he's 25 years old right now. And also, it took him 6 years to have a really good season. And so I think that's a massive question mark. And he can tend to play a little fast at times. That athleticism can sometimes get the best of him. I'm not in love with his selection by any means of the word. I think that Knight can have a really good career, but I'd rather have Barrett Carter 10 picks later. He was the linebacker with Clemson. He's younger. He's more of a tackling monster, in my opinion, which is just what this team needs. He's also better in coverage, in my opinion, than Demetrius Knight is. And he fell to pick number 101 to the Detroit Lions just 10 selections later. So Demetrius Knight, that one's F for me. But other than that, I really liked all the other selections in this draft. You can look at them right here. Malachi Starks, JT Tuimoloau, and then Demetrius Knight at pick number 91. Do me a favor. Go down below in the comment section and grade this mock draft for me. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F in the comment section down below. I'll tell you my grade coming up right now. I'm giving it a B minus, a B. I don't know. I really like the JTT pick. I think the Malachi Starks pick is a really good one. Demetrius Knight one, I don't want to say I can't get past it because that sounds a little bit dramatic, but I just don't love that selection. I give this one a B. I'd be pretty happy with it, especially after round 1 and round 2. And that reminds me, we will have the best coverage right here on the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because the NFL Draft is in just 4 days. Could not be more excited. Make sure you guys are locked in with us right here on the channel. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Mike says B. Jimsy says B. Sasquatch says B+. Chris says C+. John Jones says get Ramsey. If not, too pricey, then kill the draft on both sides of the ball. Rasheen Ali got to go. David Ajabo got to go. Trade Kolar. Get bigger, better. Tied in with Mark and likely. John Jones came in with a plan, and I love that out of him. Absolutely love it. Should the Ravens draft Malachi Starks? Give me a yes or no in the comment section. That was our first pin question on that video, on that cut. And you know what? He's been mocked a decent bit to Baltimore. And I know that mocks only means so much, but still, like, it's something to look at. It's the only thing we can really go off. What did the draft experts believe? And they believe that Malachi Starks has a chance to fall to number 27. And if he does, I would make that selection. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mike Nintendo says, Joey, you're the second best sources for me in Ravens news. Mike, what the hell, man? Who's won? Who's won? I'll beat him up. Mike says yes for Malachi. Jimsy says yes. Nathan says yes. Sasquatch says heck yes. Chris Byron says no. Chris Byron, let me know why, my friend. Make sure you guys get your questions in. Jack, how are we doing with questions, my friend? Like, I feel like we got a little bit. Could always use a little bit more. Okay. Alrighty. We need 2 more questions for today's show. I saw Sasquatch ask a really good one earlier. Sasquatch, I need you to do me a favor, and I need you to copy your questions earlier. You said at Ravens, and we need it to be hashtag Ravens. Okay? No at sign. Needs to be hashtag. So just ask it again one more time, and then we'll get it on the show. Engravens is number 1. I'm not surprised that you said that. Me and Engraven are actually, I don't want to say we're friends, but we follow each other on Twitter. I talk to him from time to time. He's a really great guy. And, yeah, that's what I got to say about Engraven. He's great. He's been doing it longer than I have for Baltimore, so don't worry. I get it. But never say his name again. I'm just kidding. It's on site. Alrighty. Make sure we keep getting those questions in. 36 people watching. Oh, Mike says, Joey, he is a small YouTuber. Okay, so it's not Engraven then, I guess, because Engraven has like 80K subs or something like that. Good for him. Which reminds me, we're getting close to 30K, and once we get to 30K, that means we will have added 13,000 subs since I took over in August, which is freaking awesome, guys. Really, really appreciative of you guys who have joined me along the way, who still watch me to this day, join the live streams, get in the chat, comment, like, do all the things that y'all do. I really appreciate you guys, every single one of you. Okay. We just need, let's do it one question. We just need one more question. It can be about draft, free agency, anything you guys want me to answer. Go ahead and get it in the comments. We just need one more question. Joey Petersen, but Ravens Now is my favorite. Don't worry. What's Ravens Now? This ain't Ravens Now, I can tell you that. It's Ravens Rundown, my friend. Bang! There we go, Sasquatch. Finally got it. Boom. And another great one from Jack Lott to Ray and Moggs. Boom, boom, boom. Back to back to back. Durger says, Joey, it's my first draft too. Let's go, man. What's up, Durger? Welcome in, my friend. I'm excited for it, dude. It's going to be a ton of fun. Make sure you guys are liking today's video if you're excited as well. We will get into our final segment on today's live show, our Ravens Live Rumors Mailbag. Coming at you very soon. Your questions, my answers, everything and anything you could want in a YouTube video. And we've got it all right here. Jack Lotteray just laughed out loud. That means I did something good. Alrighty. Jack, you ready to roll? Alrighty. Last segment, mailbag coming at you right now. Eric DaCosta has the questions in today's Ravens Rundown Live Mailbag. And of course, that's not true because y'all have the questions. I have the answers. This is from our Tuesday live show where you guys get to join me every single Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Y'all ask me your questions. I give you my answers. We're going to go over all of those right here on today's show. But before we do that, make sure to hit me up on X, okay? First 5 to follow me on X get a shout-out on Tuesday's live show, the next live show we do on Tuesday. You can find me at Joey Petersen 8. You can also find me right under our game time ad thing in our description, okay? It'll be 2 under the first paragraph, also going to be the comments. Go ahead and click on that link. Follow me there. First 5 get a shout-out. All right, let's start with the questions. Sasquatch16. Got it figured out, my boy. Says, #Ravens, can you see the Ravens double dip at safety round 1, Starks, or safety round 1 with Starks, round 2 with Watts, if no corner is available, round 3 O-line. Okay. I don't see them double dipping at safety. I don't think that makes enough sense just because of the bigger needs that they have, like with their edge rushers, interior defensive line as well. And I get it. This is all like if no cornerback. And then also cornerback as well, right? And so to go Starks and Watts doesn't make any sense. I could see him going Starks in round 1. I could see him going Watts in round 2. But I don't think that they'd do those back to back. If no corner is available in round 3, I could definitely see them going offensive line. Tate Ratledge, the offensive guard out of Georgia, is a name to keep your eye on. He's the guy with the long mullet. I think it looks sick coming out this black helmet, him playing for the Baltimore Ravens. But no, I don't see double dipping at safety. I just don't think that makes sense. There's more holes that need to be filled, like edge rusher and corner. Papa Shook is up next, one of our real ones. Will Kyle Hamilton retire a Raven? Well, Papa, I sure as hell hope so. Kyle Hamilton is, I believe, the most underrated player on this team, possibly the most underrated player in the National Football League. I think he's the best safety in the game. What he gives you from a run defense perspective and a coverage perspective, he's just a jack of all trades. And a lot of times with guys like that, you say jack of all trades, master of none. And Kyle Hamilton is not like that at all. I think an extension is going to come soon. I hope an extension comes very soon. I think they'll make him the highest paid safety. And he's just one of those guys that you want to be a Raven forever. So I hope so. Next up, we got Ravens King. #Ravens, should we trade for Jalen Ramsey? He would be amazing on this team. I would love to. I really, really would. This is all coming from Ian Rappaport's tweet on Tuesday morning. And at the time of this, we're recording, no trades have been made. And I don't think it would cost you a crazy ton, be a 5th-round pick. But also with that, you have to realize that you would be taking on an aging corner who is very expensive. So I would love the prospect of Jalen Ramsey. I don't know how I'd feel about everything that comes with him, his price tag, and his age. It'd be one of those situations that if Baltimore does it, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm going to convince myself to be excited about it. I'm going to be so pumped to see Ramsey in a Ravens uniform. But if they don't do it, I'm not going to think twice about it as well. And if they don't do it, I wouldn't be surprised either. So you make the call. Let me know in the comment section down below, should Baltimore trade for Jalen Ramsey? Give me a yes, give me a no in the comment section. Weigh in down below. Let me know your answer. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, and when that time comes, don't worry about it. Just go ahead, find this pinned comment. Give me a yes or a no. Next up, we got Jimsy J. Said, #Ravens, do you think the Ravens should trade Mark Andrews, and who would you like to see us target if so? So the thing about Mark Andrews is I don't think you trade him for another player. Trading Mark Andrews, you would get draft capital, and that's pretty much it. Now, I think Baltimore wants a 3rd-round pick, and I don't think anybody's been willing to offer more than a 4th. So that's why it hasn't happened yet. I don't think it will happen, if I'm being honest. Now, John Harbaugh did speak to the media on Tuesday of this last week, and he did say, didn't confirm or deny that he'd be traded. And so it's still one of those situations that's up in the air. If I had to put money on it, I'd bet he's still a Raven in 2025. But I would love it if draft night comes, like Adam Schefter talked about last week. Draft night's here. If a team wanted Colston Loveland, if a team wanted Tyler Warren, and they don't get him, possibly a draft night trade for Mark Andrews, I could see happening. Mike Nintendo Master is next up. #Ravens, should Baltimore sign a wide receiver or draft one? I don't think sign one. There's no real wide receivers I'm interested in left, if I'm being completely honest with you. I love the one you signed with DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's going to do really well. I've talked about him ad nauseum. And so I'm not really interested in signing one. Drafting one, I'm incredibly interested in Tanneroa McMillan falls to you at 27, which I don't think he will, but I think there's an outside chance that he does. I would love that pick. I would do that pick in a heartbeat. If you can get a guy like a Jalen Noel, a Higgins in round 2, maybe a Shavon Williams in round 3, I think all of those guys are going to be something very special in this league. What's already really special is our friends over at Game Time, because they are the proud ticketing partner of the Ravens Rundown. And you know what? What I love about Game Time is they provide the easiest way to get tickets on short notice. And you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. Game Time has an awesome feature. It's called Zone Deals, and Game Time Zone Deals allow customers to purchase tickets for a general area of a venue rather than specific seats, offering potential discounts and flexibility for last-minute ticket buyers. And I know that Baltimore doesn't have a basketball team. You might be a Knicks fan, you might be a Celtics fan, but regardless, the basketball playoffs are here, and it doesn't matter who you cheer for. Being in the building in that electric playoff atmosphere gives you memories you'll never forget for the rest of your life. So easy to find and buy tickets, and tickets for every kind of event in your area right here at Game Time. Say you like the Knicks. Well, they've got their first round matchup with the Detroit Pistons, and if you want to be a part of that, you could go. Hit up our friends at Game Time right now. You can see the views for your seats, get the best deals right with our good friends. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Hashtag Ravens, who is your number one realistic draft target from Jack Lotteray? Good question. Realistic draft target. I would have said James Pierce Jr., but after what recently came out, Eric DaCosta, he said 15 players were taken off their board because either physicals or red flags. That kind of has me thinking that James Pierce Jr. might not be on the Baltimore Ravens board anymore. I'm going to go Donovan Izaraku. Edge rusher out of Boston College. He's been getting a ton of buzz lately. I think he'd fit in really, really well. He's constant pursuit of the quarterback. He wins in so many different ways, even being at his small size, 6'2". That's the name I'm going with. Next up, we got Moggs saying hashtag Ravens just trading Mark Andrews to bump up on a draft spot, make up for the $4 million we gave him for his loyalty and service. That's a good question because that's like more of an opinion-based question. It depends on who you draft. If you can move up and like get a guy, I don't know. I really love Mike Green. If you could trade Mark Andrews, go up in the first round, select Mike Green, and also save the money from trading him anyway. I know you paid him for a $4 million roster bonus, but you're also going to save money from his cap space that he was taking up in 2025. I think that would be worth it. But like the fact that they did give him that $4 million, it told me, it should tell every single one of you that at the end of the day, they're probably not going to trade Mark Andrews. Up next is Kimberly Harmon. Hashtag Ravens scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you about the NFL draft next Thursday? Kimberly, if you can't tell, I'm at a 10. No doubt about it. Man, it's going to be a ton of fun. This is my first draft at Chat Sports. I started on May 20th of last year, so like a month after the draft, I actually came in. I used to live in Mississippi, used to work for Mississippi State, and I came in from Mississippi the weekend of the NFL draft, got to meet everybody here, got to see how they do it. So this was my first impression of Chat Sports, was the NFL draft. And so I'm so excited to be just a small part of it this year. It's going to be a blast. I've also just loved getting to learn a ton about all of these players, a ton about all of these prospects, and forming my own opinions on different guys. Cannot to wait to see how it all unfolds. Cannot wait. Could not be more excited about Thursday. George Jr. Escoto says, Ramsey for a 5-round. WTF are we waiting for? I don't mind it being a 3rd round, TBH. George, the thing is like I talked about earlier, is when you get in Jalen Ramsey, you also bring in his age and his price tag. And so I wouldn't necessarily do a 3rd for $21 million for a 31-year-old quarterback. However, a 5 I could be swayed with for sure. Miami's going to try to get a 3rd or a 4th. I think they might find a team that's desperate enough to do that, and I don't think Baltimore is that team. Sasquatch 16. Hashtag Ravens, does it make sense that we're looking at MLB? Middle linebacker. I've been hearing a lot of hype about Carson Schwessinger from UCLA. This feels like an EDC smokescreen. Is this hype or just misdirection? Great question. I've talked a lot about Carson Schwessinger as well. He's a stud out of UCLA. I think they're necessarily not looking at middle linebacker. I think what they're trying to do is just get a linebacker in the building. And so I think it's legit. Now, second round seems a little bit rich for me. I think it's going to be probably within the first 4 rounds because you have 5 picks there. But I think they think that linebacker's a legit need because it is. You lost Chris Board, you lost Malik Harrison, Trenton Simpson only only played 15 snaps in the last 4 weeks of the season. You had a big, big hole in that position group that you need to fill in the draft. Plain and simple. Okay? They brought in the kid from the Rams, but he's more of a special teams player. And so I think going linebacker, whether it's middle linebacker, that they're just going to transition over to weak side linebacker, or it's a weak side linebacker guy, I think that'd be great to draft in the upcoming NFL draft. We got the last one of the day coming in from Seeps. Who's the biggest sleeper in the upcoming draft? Great question. I've got 4 names. I'll start from earlier rounds to later rounds. Second round, Omar Norman-Lott, defensive tackle out of Tennessee, was with Arizona State, Jack, before he went to Tennessee. And, took an absolute leap in his production, in the way he played, not only just the numbers, but just his every down effort, every down, what he was affecting was unbelievable. I kind of feel like Omar Norman-Lott was in the backfield more than James Pierce Jr. was this last year for Tennessee. What he can do from the interior and his pass rush is unbelievable. He's great in the run as well. I think that's a sleeper in the second round. 2 third-round guys to look at, or 2 third, fourth-round guys is, I think, Antoine Powell-Ryland, more in the 4th. Edge rusher out of Virginia Tech. Could be something really special. At 16 sacks this last year. Just unreal production. He's not getting looked at enough. And then David Walker, Central Arkansas, outside linebacker, edge rusher. Did unbelievable things at the FCS level, was almost unblockable, but there's always that big question mark of will he be able to make that jump in the National Football League. And then kind of in the 5th round, maybe the 6th round, early 6th round, Dante Thornton Jr., wide receiver out of Tennessee. Just your classic case of big man, runs fast, 6'5", 4'4", 40, had a lot better hands. His final year at Tennessee as well, took a ton to the house. He had his average reception was 25 yards. Okay, so it's a big play guy. I think he could be a good pick in the 5th. I named 4. You, name 1. Name a sleeper in the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft. Name a guy. Could be some guy I said. You agree with me? Could be some guy totally different. You let me know in the comments section. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel because it's the best week to do so. Alrighty, we've got NFL Draft coverage for you all week long. It's going to be a blast. We'll be right here for it. So make sure you are too. Alrighty. Fun, says Tennessee Glazer, bro. Fun, I went there. I can't help but not be one. Cam Scattaboo. Cam Scattaboo, he says, I would love Cam Scattaboo, man. I would. You can't do it again. Where do you think he goes? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I would love Cam Scattaboo, man. He's a stud. He's just one of those guys who's a bowling ball, but he also has sneaky good speed. And I know that's very stereotypical to say, sneaky good speed. But he's much faster than people get him credit for. And he runs like his hair is on fire. He lets nobody bring him down on first contact. He is one of those play like a Ravens guy as well. And so he is very unprojectable. No clue. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Jack just said one of the hardballs is getting their hands on him. I kind of got a feeling it's going to be Jim. Yeah, it'd be electric. It'd be awesome. Pat Bryant says Mike Nintendo Master, wide receiver out of Illinois, is it? I'm pretty sure it is. Yes. Look at that. Look at the draft knowledge. Yeah, I think he could be really good as well. Had really good production this past year. He's young-ish, 22. He's 6'3", so he's a big guy as well. Bolts could draft Scat Pack too. Couldn't agree more. Moggs, that's kind of where I think he's going to go. All righty. That is it for today's show. We are about to get out of here. Make sure that you guys join us for this next week of coverage. If you have not yet and you're still hanging out with us, hit that subscribe button because we got the best coverage right here on the Ravens Rundown. And we will see you sometime next week, hopefully. Alrighty, I'll try to go live for the draft. Need you guys to help me out by liking today's video. Keep liking our videos. Keep running up the channel, and we'll see if we can make it happen. For Jack Ray, I'm Joey Petersen. Have a great day. God bless.